What's up, you guys? Welcome back. If you are new, my name is Jess. Be sure to smash that subscribe button before you go. Today's video is going to be a little crazy, and that is like nothing new. Y'all know my stories are crazy, but I was actually reminded of this story because I was reading back through my prison journal, and it's so funny. So the story that I'm going to tell you took place in county jail, but then when I got to prison, I wrote about it because I was still heated about this, you guys. Man, this is like, before we get into it, this is like jailhouse 101, prison 101, do not do this. And I learned from this. I already knew this rule when I was at this facility, and we're gonna get into it, but take this story as advice if you ever find yourself in that situation. Now, before we really get into it, I'm not glorifying jail, I'm not glorifying prison, I'm just sharing my experience with you guys in the hope that you will learn from my mistakes and understand that it does not pay. Crime does not pay. Being in that lifestyle, living that fast life is horrible, and prison is no joke, jail is no joke. What happened to me on several occasions was terrible, and I hope that you guys can take something positive and informative from this video and learn from it. So, without further ado, here is Crazy County Jail Stories, Part 1. You guys, I knew that I should not have let this person around me, okay? So, let me start from the very beginning. When I was in county jail in Arkansas, I had a way of getting people that I wanted in my cell with me. So you're only supposed to have one cellie in these 2-man cells, but that jail was like really crowded, and sometimes you'd have 4 women in a 2-man cell, and a lot of the times no one can get on the top bunk for medical reasons or epilepsy or pregnancy or whatever it is. Sometimes people are just older and they can't physically get up there. Other times it's health reasons, like I just mentioned. So there would be 4 women sleeping on the bottom. So one person would have the bunk, and then 3 people would be sleeping on the floor, like right up on the toilet. It was terrible. So one time in particular, I had my girl Hollywood in my cell with me, and there was this one officer, and I think she watches my videos. She did not like me. What's up? I'm doing really good. Anyway, she really hated me, and we just did not get along. She was really vicious to me, and I was vicious right back. So she hated the fact that I could finesse the other guards into letting me get away with a lot of stuff, like having someone that I wanted in my cell. As much of my environment that I can control, I did. So I did not want to be housed with someone that I didn't get along with. I mean, that would just be a train wreck, right? So I wanted my cellie to be someone that I liked and trusted, and my girl Hollywood was someone that I trusted. I can't use her real name because I haven't asked her permission. Anyway, this guard that didn't like me was coming on shift. Now, this girl in the pod was trying to get in my cell, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll make it happen, I'll make it happen. No, I don't want to make it happen. This girl knew me and my co-defendant from the street because we used to sell her drugs, okay? So, like, she was not someone I would associate with. She was just someone, like I said, that I sold to, and I didn't particularly like her. She thought she was a hustler. She thought she could sit at the big dog table, but really she was just a really bad addict. Now, I'm not putting her down. I'm just trying to describe to you her mentality. She would cut everything up and sell it and run it all around saying she got it from me, and she would basically, at that time, this is how I saw it, she would trash my name. She was shitting on my name, and my reputation meant everything to me back in the day. So I took this very personal. Now, you have to understand that at this point in my life, I had a very different mentality than I do today. So things like that mattered to me. Now I could care less. I've grown and evolved from that and way past that. Of course, still to this day, if I saw this girl, I would just keep walking. But I'm trying to take you back to a place where my mind was at 7 years ago. And 7 years ago, that kind of thing really made me mad. So this girl was always calling my co-defendant, always trying to get fronts, always trying to re-up with no money. That's what that means, fronts. And it just drove me nuts. So her boyfriend at the time was a really good runner for us. He did really well, he made money, and I never heard anything bad about him. She was kind of the shady partner in this. So she would cut all the stuff up and run around town saying she got it from me, using my name, and things like that, right? So to make more money. She'd be using my name to make more money when really she was cutting up my product. Anyway, I digress. If you need more details on that, watch Breaking Bad. So this girl's like, oh, let me get in your cell, let me get in your cell. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll make it happen. I had no intention of making that happen because she was kind of shady and kind of grimy, and I just didn't want her in my cell. I didn't want her to steal my stuff, or I didn't want her around me. I wanted to distance myself as much as I could from the people that I knew from the street. And even though they liked me, even though they respected me, even though some of them owed me money, I just didn't, when I got locked up, I charge it to the game. I don't care that you owe me money. I just don't want to talk to you, you know, and I can't control it. Now, if you do something to harm me in jail, then of course I'm going to react to that. But as far as I'm concerned, when I got locked up, it all stopped. Charge it to the game, peace out, I'm done, whatever. So anyway, this girl goes up to the guard that really didn't like me, and she's like, oh, I really want to get in this cell. But that guard knew that I did not like this girl because she spoke fluent Spanish, the CO did, and she heard me talking to another girl that spoke Spanish about this girl. And basically I was just saying, I hope she stays away from me, I just can't deal with it. And she overheard that conversation. And the CO, not liking me, decided, oh, of course, I'll put you in that cell with New York. Of course, get all your stuff. And I was like, excuse me, no. I don't want her in my cell. And I tried to stand up and say like, no, I don't want that to happen. But she didn't care. The CO didn't care. So she just did that to spite me. And I had to spend 3 weeks with 3 women in a 2-man cell. My girl Hollywood and this girl. This girl would wake up in the middle of the night, eat food, and then the food would be in her mouth still. Like, I would wake up to go to the bathroom and I'd look down at her and she'd have food in her mouth, sound asleep, mouth open, catching flies with food in her mouth. And I was like, ugh, like she was just dirty kinda, you know? She left her stuff all over the cell and I'm OCD. She was not a good cellie to have. Now, let me tell you something. When you go to jail or you go to prison, it's very important that you take the addresses off your mail. You rip the address, you write it in a book, maybe it's the Bible, and you keep your private numbers and private addresses of your friends and family, loved ones, boyfriend, wife, whatever. You keep that information private because inmates will steal that information from you, and then when they get out, they'll try to reach out to the person, or even if they're locked up, they'll try to write that person, trying to get money or trying to hustle or whatever. And I knew how this girl was, and for some reason, I didn't even think to take my Bible with me everywhere I went when she was alone in the cell. I just honestly thought she might steal a little bit of commissary here and there, and then I'd have to deal with that if she stole my stuff. I honestly just kind of let my guard down. I didn't even think she could go after my addresses because I'm from New York. My personal addresses are New York addresses. Like I really just underestimated her, okay? So, long story short, I had a bail, which I never had before in my life because I was always on paper. But in Arkansas, I was not on paper in this last case. So I had a bail, and I had a bail for months, and I couldn't get out, even though I had the money on my books, because no one would sign a bond for me because I had out-of-state charges. And I called and I tried and I called and I tried and I got denied. Well, I told my homeboy Jason, what's up, bro? I told him, man, I got $1,200 on my books and I cannot get out. I have the money for bond. I can't get out. He's like, whoa, how long have you had that money on your books? And I'm like, I don't know, forever. So he's like, I got you. I got you. Do you have somewhere to go? And I said, I mean, I could figure it out. Not really, but I could figure it out. So our idea was bail out. Not a good idea. I would not advise this. Please do not do this. It never works out this way, okay? My idea was bail out and then run from Arkansas just so that I could have my baby outside of prison, and then I would turn myself in, which I have never done. I've always gone on the run. I'm a runner till the day I die. Even when relationships would get serious, I would run. I'm just a runner. So, but I had good intentions at that moment to just go have my baby, make sure my family got my baby, and then turn myself in and do my time. I bailed out and I went to someone's house that I had met in jail because all of my friends, co-defendants, whatever, were all in jail or being deported. So I had no one. I had nowhere to go. I had nothing. I had no one. And I bailed out for 2 weeks. And the girl that I was locked up with in our cell, she had also bailed out probably 3 weeks before I did. So my homeboy helped me get bailed out. I go to call a friend of mine that gave me that money for bail to thank him. And I'm just like, thank you so much. I will pay you back. I can't even believe you helped me with this. This is gonna save me and save my baby from having a baby in prison. I'm just so grateful for you. Da 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 da. I'm just talking his ear off, thanking him. I'm overwhelmed with emotion, overwhelmed that someone would help me like that. And he said, you know, Kira's here, right? So I'm like, I'm sorry. It sounded like you said Kira is there. And he said, she is. She's been here for like a month. And I'm like, what? Why? Why? And he's like, I don't know, she needed a place to stay. And she said she was your friend. She knew your nickname. She knew all this stuff about you. And I just been letting her stay here. You guys, like, this is like the complete, like, this is like the Twilight Zone, okay? I don't understand this. I'm like, why is she there? Why is she there? And I couldn't understand, so she wouldn't even get on the phone with me. She's like, oh, that's great that Jessie's out. People that know me from my childhood call me Jessie. And I'm like, oh my God, she's using like my childhood nickname. Like, she's like really manipulating the situation. He said, you might want to call your mom. You know what? Hold on. Let me call my mom. Okay, I'm gonna call my mom because she tried to stay with my mom. Let's see what my mom has to say. Oh God, I hope she answers. Can you hear it? Let's see if she answers. Hello, your purpose in life is calling.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm filming.
You are?
Yeah, I am filming a video about county jail stories, and do you care? You're on camera. I mean, you're not on camera. Your voice is going to be on camera.
That's fine.
I just wanted to ask you a quick question.
Okay.
Okay. Do you remember that girl that got out of county jail where I was at and came to New York?
That one in Fort Smith, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, did she try to live with you or what happened?
She wanted to live with me. She kept making all these promises, but she never did come to live with me. I never even met the girl. So I wouldn't know what she looked like if she did show up.
Why was she trying to like stay with you though?
I guess because she was homeless.
She was homeless, you guys. She was homeless. Like, she had nowhere to go in Arkansas. She burned all her bridges and all the dealers in Fort Smith, and she just bailed to New York and stayed with my friend. So I'm telling them about how she lived with my friend, and I don't want to say his name on camera, but she lived there for like a month, and then she was trying to stay with you.
Yeah.
Do you remember like anything that she said that like... I mean, the whole situation was so weird that she stole your information from my Bible where I had your number written down and everything.
Wow, that I didn't know. Oh, that's how she got my number, right?
Yeah, she stole it out of my property.
Wow. Boy, that's a real winner for you, huh?
It is, yeah, so I'm just telling them that story right now. Okay, well, I'll let you go, but I just, while I have you here on camera, thank you for always being there every time I was locked up.
Absolutely. What are moms for?
To yell at me, but then write me letters anyway.
Well, I love you. Just because you make mistakes doesn't mean I'm gonna stop loving you.
You better not. I'm your purpose in life.
That's right. You are. All you kids are.
She's so funny. All right, Mom, I'll let you go.
Okay, honey.
Bye.
Bye. I love you.
Love you too. How weird is that, you guys? Like, she just literally tried to stay with my mom and like she stayed with my friends and so if you ever find yourself in county jail, hide your information because people will get it and like they'll try to write your loved ones or live with your loved ones. Like, that's just so crazy. And I remember this girl, like, she had just burned her bridges with so many people, including me. I mean, I really wanted nothing to do with this girl, and oh my God, it's literally the weirdest thing ever. She also, she said, oh, I'm gonna help you as soon as I get out, da-da-da-da. People are spitting game all day long in jail and prison. So they always say like, oh, I'll write you, oh, I got your back, oh, I'll do this. During the course of my jail stay, I had one person leave the county jail, go to prison, and still look out for me. And her name was Hollywood. So we were Sally's for a long time. I've actually met her family. She's still struggling, unfortunately, with her addiction, but when she went to prison, she would have her husband, who is no longer with us, send me care packages, and she always made sure that they were coffee care packages because I could sell the coffee and get hygiene items or food or whatever I needed, and she did that every single month until I got to prison. And it was just one of those things, like, I could never repay her for that. Even though I was a hustler, even though I was like hustling up everything I needed, she still looked out for me because I was pregnant, and she said that she couldn't even like fathom me going without because I was pregnant. Those people are so rare. And she's in prison again, unfortunately. But those are the kind of people that I will never forget. Those are the kind of people that stay with me forever. I don't care how much she's struggling. I don't care that she's still in prison. I will still write her and support her and encourage her to get sober because she was there for me when no one else was. And I just get goosebumps thinking about it because I'm not used to that kind of kindness. I'm used to people being like hateful or trying to steal my stuff or whatever. And I love her, and I hope she's doing okay. I haven't heard from her in a little bit. She hasn't written me because she's in transit, so hopefully Hollywood is doing good. All right, I'm gonna end this video here. And I just really hope you guys take something from this story. Don't break the law, first of all. Second of all, if you do find yourself in that situation, be very protective of your personal property, your personal space, and your family's addresses and phone numbers, because you never know someone's intentions, and that is so crazy. It's so crazy to think that someone stole my address in Arkansas, went all the way to New York, and crashed on my friend's couch for an entire month before I got out and even knew about it. So it's so crazy, you guys. But I hope you enjoyed this story. Stay safe, stay sober, and I'll see you in my next one.